Hey folks, so just kind of checking in and everything. I'm gonna do a spirit talk. It's been a little while since I did a spirit talk, and I may make this a featured video on my YouTube. I'm gonna see how it goes. There's so much going on. I ended up working a half day today. My half day, which thank God, I didn't sleep very well last night because once a Politico issue came out, Roe versus Wade, and you guys saw my reading on it. It's not looking good for Roe versus Wade. It's looking okay, which I know a lot of people are concerned about, but it definitely was heavy on my mind last night. Real hard to sleep. I was in and out, so I worked my half day, and then I ended up sleeping for a while. I fell asleep listening to the news, and everything. What good does it do to listen to the news at this point? It is what it is. What's coming. The way it is. It's very frustrating to think five people on a Supreme Court could set the precedents for rolling back and just completely annihilating women's rights, because then the states, okay, at their level, they can pretty much dictate, what women's rights are when it comes to safe and legal abortion, which it's not going to stop there, guys. It's going to hit birth control. Okay, it's going to even hit birth control because the pro-life movement is against it too. What you need to understand, you think I know a logical person, okay, that is not an extremist would think, well, wouldn't be preventing abortion be a good thing, preventing a birth, so we don't even have to go to abortion, birth control. No, the majority of pro-lifers consider even birth control abortive, or interfering with the will of God. Just like the Catholic Church, they've always been into the rhythm method. That's been their thing, and stuff. And so it's a tough time. I woke up though, had a little dinner, just whipped up something real quick, and kind of looked at some TikToks, looked at some YouTubes, kind of a little bit on the news, kind of everything, and it's very frustrating. And I made a couple of TikToks, and kind of what I said, I kind of voided her voice to my disgust that, okay, we got Biden in office, we got the House, Senate, as far as, say, going blue, whatever, but then we're losing all of women's rights. How does this happen? So I'm a little frustrated with Biden. I'm a little frustrated with Biden. I'm frustrated with these people who were supposed to go in there and keep our rights going, or whatever. And no, just say five people, and because of their whatever morals, value, religious upbringing, whatever, that they could set the precedent to just strip women of their rights and the things to come. And of course, looked at some sad TikToks, some women, talking about their stories, and you're going to see a lot more. That there will be women, some women who have never told a soul of experiences with maybe rape and why they had abortion, and various things, that are incredibly tragic stuff. Matter of fact, let me show you one. I wish I could upload it and go like that for you, but I came across this TikTok. I think if I hold up my phone, it should work for you. If it doesn't, go friend me on Facebook or something. But let me go ahead and see if you'll be able to see this. And these are usually, a few minutes, but this one really hit home for me. And trigger warning, if you can't handle this, skip through, okay?
Hear these stories. And I hope TikTok shows this one to the people that need to see it.
This stuck to me, man.
32,000 of you after I tell it. Jacqueline was a spitfire of a lady that never got married and never had any babies. But, she was just a cool person. She hated the news, though. Any time a election was coming up, she'd shut it off. And I never asked her why. I just figured she didn't like listening to it. But one day I was giving her a shower, and she had this giant scar on her. It was like that thick, and it went from hip to hip, and then from about the middle of her abdomen all the way down to her pubic line. And it wasn't in her chart. I had no idea what it was from, and it wasn't really my job to know, so I didn't ask. But one day I was giving her a shower, and she had breakdown on her scar. It was opening back up, and I was like, oh no, we're going to have to get something on that so we can get it healed up good. She said, baby, that'll never heal. I said, What do you mean? I don't even think it's in your chart what that's from. What's it from? She said, well, when I was 16 years old, a 42-year-old married man got me pregnant. She said, and this was before Roe versus Wade. I said, oh. She said, so I told him, and he told me he knew somebody who could take care of it. And I wasn't in no position to raise no baby by myself, so I said, okay. And he put me in the car, and he drove me in the country, and they tied me down. And they cut me open, and they took out all my girl parts, all of them, and just throwed them in the fire. And then they stitched me back up with fishing line, and I almost died because I started bleeding to death on the way home, and he didn't want anybody to know, so he just left me in a field. I said, so that's why you don't listen when they're debating whether or not it's okay? She said, yeah, because I lived through what happens when it's not okay and you don't have a safe place to go. I said, I'm so sorry. She said, don't be sorry. Be grateful that you live now that people know what happens. I could tell you about the other girls that's boyfriends beat them half to death to make sure they miscarried their babies. And I could tell you about all the girls that threw away their whole lives just so that they could raise babies they never wanted. But I think this scar here ought to show you that you should be grateful. I said, I am very grateful. And I was. Every day until today.
Powerful. Powerful. And there's so many more. There's so many more, okay, guys? There's so many more stories like that. I've heard them. Years ago, I would say this is kind of but really the beginning of awakening process. You know, just like I talked to you guys a little bit about even my own thing when I kind of wanted to investigate, you know, pro-life, pro-choice, where I stood. And I did a lot of investigating and so forth. And one of the things is I'm gonna try not to get teary-eyed here. There was a lot of women I definitely met and spoke to online and things like that who shared stories that, you know, especially women who are older, you know, women that are in their 70s, you know, and things, especially like going further back, okay? Because I was born in 69, so I was born 4 years before Roe versus Wade, okay? So, you know, it was legal by the time I got, you know, kind of started going into my, you know, teen years and stuff. But the women before that, I mean, the stories, if you could easily get on Google and do searching, and you could find probably maybe even, you know, just hundreds and thousands of God knows how many stories of women and things that they went through, back alley abortions, this and that, the ones who lived to tell the tale. Okay, because there are those who did not live to tell the tale. So you might hear a story from, maybe there's a story from their mother, or maybe some relative of someone who died, you know, because of some kind of horrible, graphic, you know, abortion like that. I know you think that might be, oh my God, that, you know, that's not a rarity back then. Okay, that wasn't a rarity back then. Horrible things happen to people. Okay, you know, and see the women who are rich, Elizabeth Warren just kind of talked today. I'm a wealthy woman. If something happened to me, which of course she's, you know, she's older, it ain't gonna happen to her. But if something happened and she, you know, say she wanted abortion, she's got the money. She could easily fly to a state that's legal, or she could just go all the way out of the country. Just be real quiet about it and everything. She could easily take care of it. Rich women will probably be okay. Though don't say they're 100% protected, because if somebody found out about them, they could use them as an example, right? But especially the poor. And I know some of you are wondering, why is this happening? Why has this always been so important? There are so many factors that are involved, that when I was, you know, involved with pro-choicers and debating online, you know, pro-lifers, a long time ago, which I try to have discussions, but there are some people who definitely, you know, in their heart, they believe, you know, certain things, you know, when it comes to, you know, abortion, they really believe that this is, you know, that it shouldn't be done, that they feel for babies. Okay. There are people that this is an emotional thing for them, but there are many, okay, in power, okay, that manipulate all that, okay, that's not the issue. It is about, be able to have power and control, to have power and control over women, to be able to birth. There are a lot of people talk about it. It is very true. If you do a little homework, I can easily Google right now. Watch this. United States and lowest birth rate in 30 years. Over the past 30 years, the birth rate in the United States has been steadily declining.
And in 2019, there were 11.4 births per 1,000 of the population. In
Okay.
1990, this figure stood at
Saying right there.
16.7 births per 1,000
Over the past 30 years, the birth rate in the United States has been steadily declining. And in 2019, there were 11.4 births per 1,000 of the population. In 1990, this figure stood at 16.7 births per 1,000. So we've got, in the last 30 years, it's just been steadily declining, the birth rate. And a lot of that is birth control. But women, a lot of people are choosing also, to control. Maybe they only want to have one baby. Maybe they want to have no babies. Maybe they want to have two. And, like with me, I was 2, got a tubal, and I was done. And I wanted a boy and girl. Now, if I would have had 2 boys, I would have maybe waited. Okay, because I really wanted a girl. But, but I don't know. Spirit kind of told me I'd have a boy and girl, because I'm psychic. Sometimes mamas know what they're going to have. I don't know. It's just something, but I do. But when I found out I was having a girl, I was like, I'm going to have a tubal after. That's all I want. Boy, girl, I'm done, right? And it's great that I had a say over my body. That, I could say I could have a boy, I've got my girl. And, when I was on the table, I had to have a C-section, so I was wide awake. And the doctor, you do want to do this? So I'm like, do it. Okay, and I had my tubal, and I didn't have to worry about anything ever again. And that is me, being able to take control of my body and have a say. I'm happy with 2 kids, and I'm good. And a lot of people are doing that. But there's a lot of people who the cost of living is very high. Okay. To be, and are trying to be very conscientious and realistic, and don't want to necessarily bring children into the world that they're going to have to struggle with. And they're already having a hard time supporting themselves. This would seem the logical thing, but capitalism, they want to keep the labor force. There are people that are high up. Okay, what you need to understand, that are concerned about a labor force not having them, and their businesses having a hard time because there's not enough people to work. There's not enough this. Now, I know some I want to try to be careful with this, with YouTube. But there's some, white supremacy issues and theories that there are those that are concerned that with women having control of their bodies, especially white women, and that they're all concerned that that white people will be in the minority one day, which it's looking like it's going to happen. Okay. And I really could care less. I really could care less. And there are a lot of people who could care less, but they're worried about it. And so, they want white women birth the babies. Yeah, there are those that want white women birth the babies. Okay. So there's a little part of that too. There's a whole lot. But, and the church, what are the things you understand? Why was the church so against birth control? Okay, because they want to fill the pews. Okay, they want to fill the pews. If you can't fill the pews with bodies, you're not going to get the tithes. You're not going to have the support of the church. You're not going to have the billions of dollars. You can't have all the gold stashed in the Vatican. Okay, and the fine art and all the stuff they've got there. They lose their, power if they don't have the members. Okay, so there's a whole lot of reasons, okay, that there is an agenda. So they do play on even those people who are pro-lifers, who really believe that this is about fetuses and babies, playing on their emotions and feeding them. But really their agenda, they could care less. Okay, they could care less, and it's about, having a labor force and things like that, having a population. It's a lot of stuff. But really, the agenda, it's never really been about fetuses. So what am I doing this video for? A lot, because I'm doing a spirit talk here. I'm doing a spirit talk. I was watching another video tonight, and I have talked to a lot of people about it. About the shifting into 5D Earth. Now, some people have certain theories. about how that happens. I definitely believe we will get to a new earth one day. Okay, we will. There is a crumbling going down. But it's sometimes I tell you guys that sometimes it has to go all the way down and get worse before it gets better. And this is kind of what's happening. We got to go through the crumbling where it gets worse before it gets better. I was watching a video of a young man talking about how if we focus on good things and don't focus on the negative and fear, that you can shift dimensions into 5D Earth and stuff. And what we need to understand here, though, is this: with a lot of spiritualists, if you're born in the here and now, and just like I was meant to be in the here and now, a lot of us come into here really to say bring in the new earth. It's not about necessarily, setting our intentions and shifting and leaving behind, but a bunch of doofuses on a 3D earth to mess themselves up. That's almost Christianity in disguise, that believes that there's gonna be apocalypse and they're gonna rapture out of here and they don't have to deal with it. Okay, no. We many of us have come here. There are people even coming from other planets, being born from other planets and stuff, because we got to transform what we got here. Okay, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here, to transform it. That really is what it comes about. I mean, I would love to shift out of here. I don't think I haven't thought about it. And it's true. We can, with impacts, make a shift in certain things. That is true. But on the same token, we have to be, we can't be living in la la land here. When it comes to, many of us are born here to make impacts and changes because of certain things like this going on, and so many other things that are just dominoes lining up. I've been talking about it for a while, just like New World Order and all that. Yeah, there's a whole lot of that going on. But a lot of spiritualists, have to, get up and start taking action and getting the voices out. Even if you're not spiritual, even if you're atheist, agnostic, I don't care. Or even Christians who are, not necessarily conservative, and they're really trying to say, follow the ways of Jesus, and they're seeing some wrong things about this. They need to speak up. Even if you lose family, friends, and things like that, you may lose some people along the way, but you got to stand up for what's right. That's what you got to do. You got to stand up for what's right. And it's not stopping here. They're coming for gay rights. They're coming for gay marriage. They're coming even for interracial marriage. And I know you find that shocking. And I have biracial children. But just the thing, why would they be coming for that? I'm telling you, there's an agenda to, keep, to not lose white people. Okay, that's why they're coming for interracial marriage. I mean, it's all kinds of drama. Just think, states could possibly regulate it. A lot of this, the protections that you're talking about, gay rights, gay marriage, all, that has to fall under the realm of privacy. And so then, what they're going to eliminate privacy, what constitutes what should be private and not private, and things. It's so much going on. And so, but yes, guys, yes, we are trying to shift things into 5D, absolutely. And we will get to a new earth one day. I know it almost seems hopeless right now and stuff, but and we do want to be positive and keep the momentum. Absolutely. I'm all for the positive, trying to be positive. But we also came here for a reason, is to make impacts, and each person has a role to play in this dynamic, to try to make this world a better place. And stuff, we all have, a role to play in that. And we could also, all you can do is do your best with the hands you've been given, with whatever kind of voice power, if you can make an impact. I mean, there are some people that have, say, followings on social media. They're way bigger than even I have. And if they could kind of get out there and make an impact and say things, they can make a difference, really kind of speak to people and stuff like that. But yeah, they're coming for all kind of rights, all kind of rights are coming in here. And, I just hate when I think of people head in the sand, well, I'm not gay, or I can't have kids, or so it doesn't impact me. It's like, no, it does. It does. Because inevitably there is going to be a right that you have that they're going to strip, and all of a sudden it is about you. But you should be impacted when other people's rights are taken away, though. You really should care, and be impacted and so forth. And of course, as you know, I do readings. So let's kind of do a kind of a collective reading, what Spirit has to say about this. And Spirit doesn't like stuff like this. Spirit doesn't like dirty, and stuff like this. All this division, all this fighting, all this, drama and stuff. But let's kind of see what Spirit has to say about stuff. And I know it's a lot. I know a lot of you are worried about things going on. I understand that. We'll get the good old thoughts. But even, yeah, your religious freedoms, still, like many of you, spiritualists and things like that, you dance to a beat of another drum, that you're not, you got away from conservative Christianity, or you wanted nothing to do with it. And what about that? When they kind of come for you, are they going to start burning witches? Are they going to make, magic illegal? I'm telling you, you may think it's crazy now and stuff. You think it's crazy now, but you need to be prepared. But we all were meant to be here. If you're here, okay, you were meant to be here for a reason, to make some kind of an impact on what's going on. And you got to kind of figure out what your role is there. What your role is that you have to play. Just like even tonight, just kind of, I have to sit there and think about my role. Absolutely. But I ain't going to be silent on it. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, let's see what Spirit has to say. It's challenging. Yeah, I know that video of that young lady talking, that you need to listen to that. You need to listen to that. And there's so many other stories you're going to start hearing. If you're on TikTok, you're going to hear a lot of stories. A lot of people are starting to talk. And it's hard for them to come to those stories. I want you to respect that. It's hard to tell those stories. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say to the collective. Kind of collective reading on what's going on. And so we got the Princess of Dis. So obviously Roe versus Wade. We've got a lot going on, especially centered around a lot, what I see like my princesses, I think especially the young, I really am concerned. They're the most vulnerable right now. And they're the most vulnerable right now and stuff, so definitely a lot of us, women, we got to get out there, we got to protect them. But even if you are a young woman, you got to stand up for your rights and stuff. This is a big thing. And notice this is in Earth, which can be about, fertility as well. The Princess of Dis, okay? We're kind of looking at that. I see that's why we got the crossing, the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, some of the older women, and it is an emotional issue. It is an emotional issue, but we got to stand up and we got to protect. Notice she's kind of covering this princess here. Us older women especially got to get out and kind of protect these women here. These young ladies, that's a big part of it. That one day I'm going to leave this earth, but can I leave something, for some of these younger ones who are going to grow into be women, secure their rights and everything. Let's kind of go ahead and look at this. So I've got the Devil and Happiness sit next to each other. What do you think that says? Okay, yeah, this is yeah, the Devil and Happiness next to each other. Okay, so there's a very negative force, and the devil does, as he chains the lovers. Okay, one of the things I want you to kind of think about that, when it comes to, the control over the sexual, issue, all that stuff and everything. And conservative Christians, obviously they have their, it's kind of like where they feel, or they perpetuate that they're these good guys or whatever, they're protected babies. They're really the devil in disguise. Okay, we need it. And they're happy about this. They're happy about this Roe versus Wade, okay, about to be overturned and stuff. But it's the devil's really behind it, okay? Things that come could be very negative. Absolutely. That's who's really behind it right there, okay? We got that going on. And we got that truce card popping in. That would be the great if we could come to a thing where we could stop fighting. Spirit, remember what I'm talking about. I'm focusing on what the Spirit has to say about this. The Spirit would love to have a truce, understands that maybe we won't necessarily see eye to eye, but it'd really be nice if we could just come to terms and come to some kind of compromise or understanding, and everything like that. Now we've got the luxury card that's popping up in here. Now in this kind of meeting, I feel, that, a lot of the rich and everything, are the ones kind of pulling the strings, and they're also thinking about, certain wealth and things and power, that they're the ones pulling string. This card is sticking up. What does it have to do with the Magician? Yeah, we do want to work on our manifestation. Okay, we want to get our power. The magician especially does have a lot to do with personal power. So we all got to kind of look here. What area do I have any kind of semblance of power that I can put something into this to make a difference? Okay, to turn things around and stuff. So we've got the Knight of Swords. A lot of you that follow me know that has been the Trump card. So we've got a lot of these, the Trump, a lot of the Republican Party has really gone that way and so forth. And he did have a lot to do with getting these people in the Supreme Court and so forth, just following what they wanted and stuff, so there's plenty more than that to come. He with Biden, having his struggles, failing and things like that, he's, if he runs, okay, we could see more of that to come. Okay, and I've been very concerned about that. Like I said, I'm not ready to read on that if he's going to be president next. I need a little more time on that. I don't think I'm ready to get an answer on that yet. But we've got the Chariot. We've got to go forward. We've got to go forward, but they're trying to go backwards. Yes, they are. They're trying to go backwards, but Spirit wants us to go forward and stuff. So Moon, a lot of unknown going on. There's a lot of unknown people, they're not waking up. They're not aware, and stuff. But the changes are coming fast, swift. 8 of Wands. You need to be prepared and stuff. So you got to start educating yourself, about the intent of what's going on. And yes, take a stand. 7 of Wands is about standing up, standing your ground, taking a stand. You may lose people, you may lose friends, you may lose family, but you got to stand up for what's right. A lot of people got to stand up for what's right now. We have to, or else they're going to have control. There you go. The emperor, the patriarchy, and stuff. They're ahead of the game at the moment. But just trying to have, the emperor can be about control and power, and the oppression. Yeah, I know the oppression. It's getting in there more and more. Yes, it's coming. Heavy oppression. But the outcome of love. See, this is what Spirit wants. Remember, I'm focusing on what does Spirit want here. Okay, what does Spirit want here? Love, especially 2 of Cups. Spirit just wants everybody to get along, everybody to love each other. That's what they want. Okay, that's what they want. It has to be so freaking obvious. I mean, no matter if someone is different than you. Okay, no matter if someone identifies, a way that maybe you're not used to, they're gay or they're non-binary. I know there's all kinds of different things coming out here nowadays. A transgender, whatever, that we got to learn to love people. We got to learn to love people and so forth. And even, like conservative Christian, all this stuff, also we as spiritualists try to understand, some of them, what is making them this way. We got to try to do that if we're going to have any kind of rational, reasonable discussions with them and so forth. But Spirit just wants everybody to get along and love each other. That's what they really want. That's what they really want. They don't want all this drama. They don't, and that's why they would love a truce. They would love a truce, that people could just come to some kind of agreement. But this oppression and everything, no, absolutely not. Oppressing women and taking rights away and talking about putting women in prison for having abortions. And then even the other thing you need to understand is, say a woman has a miscarriage, and they could also, start to say that, oh no, you forced that to happen. They could say certain things that you forced that to happen, and then put her in jail, for some kind of, some kind of abortive type of thing. There's so much stuff that could go very wrong here and stuff. But yeah, that's what, Spirit, just look at that, Spirit just wants us to get along and love each other. That's what Spirit really wants. God, it's right there. It's right there. That's what the Spirit really wants. And it can be hard to do right now. Just like when I do soul contract reads, I've started those this year with people. If anybody's ever interested, go to my about, there's ways to contact me. But when I've been doing people's soul contract readings, there is a section on that layout where it is unconditional love, forgiveness. There is a section that's on everybody's soul contract to try to learn to love people unconditionally. And it is one of the biggest challenges, definitely, to be able to do. But this is a hard one. This is a hard one with what's coming. But yeah, look at that. The devil's happy. The devil's happy. They're getting what they want. That's it ain't the good that's behind all this. and stuff. And a lot of us people that are awake and aware of what's going on see it. We definitely see that this is something dark. This is not something light. I know conservative Christian, oh, Roe versus Wade, all the babies will be saved. They think it's all light thing. No, this is a dark thing because, of what is to come. And once it happens, the back alley abortion, somebody's daughter, dying in a back alley abortion, or maybe being scarred for life, in some kind of situation, there is damage done, physically that she will have to, deal with all her life, some kind of health problems and the various things that can happen. And, that this is really hard. This is really hard. But let's go ahead and look and see what, I would like to pull some oracle cards. Yeah, let's go Spellbinder. And I mean, I just, sometimes I just sit there. Why can't people just mind their own business and leave people alone? Let them live their life the way they want. Like I said, let people love who they want to love. Why do they got to be in their, someone else's bedroom and dictate, all that? Why do they got to be so uptight about it? Just leave people alone. Pay attention, take care of yourself during this time, well-being. I know this is very stressful and things like that. That's why today I just was like, I need to just sleep. I just need to, I had kind of a sleepless night last night. I was off and on, so much in the mind. But this is the time to focus on your life purpose. What role am I to play in all this that's going on, in the world? What is my part that I can do, and everything? And I want you guys to kind of focus on that. What is your part that you can play? What is your role and stuff? The world so badly needs healing. I have a feeling a lot of this, even this Roe versus Wade, this is going to open old wounds for so many women, and maybe that went through various things. And I see it already. It's opening wounds, and stuff of things that they went through in past and so forth, and stuff. And just with the home card, what I kind of feel, is kind of like, home and family and all that. This is a time to kind of hug your family and bring them closer and everything. But we got to think about our children and what kind of a world, what kind of an America, and things like that are they going to be growing up in and so forth. It's a challenge and stuff. I even got the travel card that is popping up, and see, that's one of the things with, abortion. If someone's in one state, they're going to have to travel and go somewhere else to get one. And, but what if something happens where they get other laws voted that makes it illegal in all the states? Don't think that can happen. Look what's happening now. Okay. But in the meantime, people are going to have to travel, and it's going to be a challenge and so forth. It's crazy. It's a lot to digest. There's so much to come. But yeah, just kind of, like I said, I was focusing on the one, young man that was talking about shifting to 5D. If you just kind of focus on the good and the positive, and I understand what he's saying, but it's still a little similar to when Christians focus on, no matter how bad the world gets, I'm going to be raptured out of here. Okay. And stuff. So I don't have to worry about a whole lot of stuff or doing much of anything. Okay. No, we've got a role to play. Everybody has, if you're here in the here and now, right now, you have a role to play with what's going on. And don't think your voice doesn't matter. Maybe, just like maybe you have a smaller following here or there, or, something, or maybe you could get out there and build a following. There's so many things you can do, but get your voice out there, because the more collective voices, get out there can really make an impact. But we're probably going to have to take to the streets. We're going to have to take the streets. We're going to have to really, kind of get out there and do things. And this is a challenging time. But, when you see rights taken away for certain people, okay, you need to care about that. You need to care about that. Even if you feel, well, that doesn't impact me directly. Like, for instance, I could say, well, I'm an older white woman, heterosexual, and I'm in menopause, so a lot of this doesn't affect me, but it does affect me, really. And, because I have children, because I have grandchildren, and I do also care about other people having rights. Okay, it does impact me. I don't want to live in a shit country world where other people don't have rights, where people are, taking them away from them and hurting them, or they're going to start imprisoning them, and everything, and telling people who they should or should not love. And I'm definitely for religious rights. that people should be able to practice whatever religion that they want. That is a big thing with me, especially because, obviously what they hate, maybe I'm all those things, but I'm also kind of a unique spiritual person. I could easily, if all this, hey, even this spiritual path became outlawed, you can't have tarot cards, you can't do this, whatever, psychic readings, dodo, all that stuff. Okay, oh, and if you do that, you could be burned or, whatever. Yeah, and so people need to be able to have their own spiritual freedom. They need to be free, in their own spirituality. There's, especially because, spiritual paths can offer a healing road. They can offer a healing road to people, which is so critical, which is so important, which is so precious, and so forth. So, that's a lot. But yeah, see, look at that end card. Spirit just wants us to love each other. That's really what they want. Not, take away this right, that right, send all these people to hell and do this and that. No, no, no. You could even see the Two of Cups as love your neighbor as yourself if you want to, even, sure. But really that's what spirit wants. If somebody's different from you, just send them love and everything. Maybe you don't have to maybe you don't totally understand, them or anything like that, but you can still send them love and everything like that. There's just so many things here to unpack. Let's look at Osho for a little bit. I still got, a little bit I could say here. Let's kind of see what Osho has to say. Kind of on a spiritual level. I'm being drawn to this deck. But yeah, we can't be focused on, what, I'm going to be raptured out of here to 5D Earth, so I don't care. Nah, you're just as bad as the Christians, okay? Don't even be like that. You have a role to play in the here and now, and you got to make some kind of impact. You got to get your voice out there. It's very important. It's important that everybody is heard. And also, God, you got to vote. You got to vote. If you're not registered to vote, vote. Okay, it's very important we all vote. Because you should see, they're trying to make voting harder. That. You saw that. Can you see what's happening? I'm trying to make voting harder. Okay, especially for minorities. And so we know that they're attacking minority vote. And they're going to probably try to, stop women from voting. They really are. There's a whole lot coming, guys. The dominoes are lining up. But yeah, they want birthing babies. They want to keep the population going. They want a labor force. They want to make money. They want to make money off your babies. Okay? They want you in a position where you got to, work 2 jobs just to take care of your family. Okay? Because if you're just one person, take care of yourself. You don't have to spend much money, right? Just on you. But if you've got 3 kids that you had to have, you're going to have to work 20 times harder, to feed them. So yeah, there's a reason they want women birthing babies. Of course there is. There is an agenda. And you got to think about it. Okay, people that are gay, okay, they can adopt, right? But they can't have children together, okay? All right, what does that do? Well, cuts down the population, right? There you go. Think about it. Think about it. So we got the totality card. And I kind of look at this. People I see them kind of joining hands, coming together. That's what people need to do right now, is start kind of coming together here. Become a force and everything. And I've got this kind of ordinariness card. Now, this is also the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, which is also can represent the workforce, employment and things like that. But, yeah, I would love to get in some nature right now. That would be nice. Politics, and there you go. The ugly side. All these people that, all of them are corrupt, really, at this point. But yeah, see the snake. Osho loves the politics card, having a snake behind the mask and everything. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a time to connect with the source. Tap into your power. Look at that, how powerful that image is. Tap into your power right now. You have a power within you. You have a voice. You have some power. Okay, you got to do something with it. And we've got the dream. Now, the dream card is very interesting in Osho See, kind of look at that, like that romantic love and all that. I see that young woman, she's kind of sitting there looking at that, that dream, that image and stuff. Everybody wants a fairy tale life and stuff, but also, with that said, not everybody's life goes that way. They just don't, and we got to deal with this world the way it is. And I've got the nothingness and the darkness. This is also the Hierophant card and everything. Now, a lot of that, I know it's kind of interesting. Why is the Hierophant the nothingness card? It's a very kind of a deep card, with Osho and everything. But, a lot of this here, I want you to kind of look at what Spirit's kind of saying is some of this, conservative Christian stuff here is kind of, leading us into the darkness here. I believe is what Spirit's trying to say. I know a lot of you feel kind of alone in this right now. You're not sure what to do. You're feeling kind of empty and stuff. But this is a time to really soul search with that Hermit card. This is a time to soul search. And you really got to tune into what your part is. I can't tell you what your part is to play in this role and stuff. And we just want really things in harmony. Of course, absolutely. That's what we want, to just have some kind of peace. And yes, of course, you need peace because look at the mind. I know a lot of you are just struggling right now and everything with what's going on and you just want harmony. So make sure you do your meditation, unplug from this drama. Don't be too fixed into the drama because it'll rattle you. It's just like I had to take a big long sleep today and stuff like that. But we got to be prepared for the changes that are coming. And what we want to do is we want to try to make positive changes. Wheel of Fortune. Now, if you guys saw my note in the Roe versus Wade reading, I did kind of catch on something because I told you I felt Wheel of Fortune also had to do with Jupiter and what it's doing right now. And at this very moment, Jupiter is conjunct Venus. There's going to be expansion of the Divine Feminine coming out because of what is going on. Absolutely. And we need it. We need it right now. Okay. And Jupiter is also very liberating. Okay. Of the Divine Feminine, which is very ironic, right? You would think with Roe versus Wade, which is completely opposite. But that's the thing, is the rising of the Divine Feminine is going to come seeking liberation of women. Okay, so that's why the Wheel of Fortune is popping up, that Jupiter card. And that's where I'm hoping that we can hopefully, get women, to really step into their power so we can shift into a positive direction. And things like that, absolutely. And let me go ahead. I just want to pull a few more for something I'm thinking of. Transformation. That's what I was also thinking, even, like I was saying, gay rights, LGBTQ rights, and everything. We need that transformation and stuff. And I've even got kind of go with the flow. Well, I can go with the flow with some things, Spirit, but, there are some things I'm going to have to come in like a wrecking ball. We gotta make some changes here. So, but yeah, just like I said, I could easily kind of sit there and say, well, I have to worry about this. I'm not going to have kids. But I got my daughters, I've got my granddaughters, and I do also care, because I don't want to see a tragedy, of all these, younger people, back alley abortions, deaths, suffering, people getting locked up. I don't want to see, incest victims being forced to birth. There's so many things I don't want to see. And I do, and I do really worry about that. And I fear that. Absolutely. You bet I do. You bet I do. And stuff. So we've got to really get out there, and vote. And you young people, if any of you are young watching this, yeah, we need you too. I know it kind of sucks. I hand you the mantle, that you got to take action. And I feel bad if your mothers and fathers let you down, that it got this bad. I feel for you, and stuff like that. But just understand, there's a lot of people that have been fighting for a long time, trying to stop certain things from going on. But unfortunately, some of it's on you, that you're going to have to pick up the mantle and get your voices out there and get your voting going on and everything, and take action. And I know it's a tough world to live in right now. You're like, many of you have to live with your parents because you can't afford to live outside of, of everything. I know it's freaking fucked up. It's a fucked up world. But just, I want you guys to kind of focus on that. Just think, with everything going on, with all the drama, I want you to kind of look at that and really feel out what your role is, to play in this, what little part you can possibly do. It's definitely something I got to sit with the Spirit and kind of, assess, my role, in what kind of role I can play in this as well. whatever I can do, I definitely want to, I definitely want to do that. Any kind of little semblance of power that I could possibly have to get a voice out there. But it's so important, it's so important to be able to be vocal on that. Okay, guys, and stuff. And I would tell you not to worry. I would love to tell you not to worry. But no, it's actually, you should be a little on edge right now. I'm not going to take that fear away from you. You should be on edge right now. And you should be worried, and you should be coming up with some kind of plan, what action you're going to take and what your role is. Okay, don't just sit back there and just be like, I'm going to tune out of this, shut off the news, and not worry about it. No, we can't do that anymore. And stuff, we can't do that anymore. We got to pay attention, unfortunately, to what's going on. This is a big thing, and a lot of women, back in the day, women I knew, as I was coming up in the world, they knew that there was always a risk of this, and that's why they were very vocal, and they kept it, and they kept it going, and they would have debates with people and things like that, and try to educate people really, on really, what's going on. But it's just like religious freedom, freedom who you love, your own kind of whatever, sexual freedom, whatever it is, the way you identify yourself. I mean, Jesus, people can't, let people identify themselves as they want, and things like that. Let people identify themselves as they want. They should be able to come out, without fear, without, stigmatism, being beat up on and everything like that. There's so much, there. And I just, and I know, just, at least my connection with spirit, is spirit, just like you saw that love card, spirit wants us to get along and love each other regardless of our differences and so forth, which is really important. But it's time. So focus on it. What is your role to play, in this and stuff? I know we could, and yeah, do your manifestation. Absolutely. Manifestation. The Magician card's been popping up for me. We definitely should be doing that. Just think if we all did that, we could, make an impact, but we got to get out there and take action.